Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a creative art prompt for your art journal. We'll start with some watercolors. I'm using a light blue to begin, and this shape is going to be very angular. You can do a triangle or pentagon, hexagon, whatever you feel like. And what I'll do is add these shapes in really light to start, and then you can go in and drop in darker colors on top. Right, and then moving on to the next one, leave a little white space and then go ahead and build that same angular shape that you have. And keep placing these next to each other with a little bit of white space in between each of them. You also want to remember that this is about letting go, and we're not worrying about perfection or perfect shapes. It's really about you having time to be creative and letting yourself have a little bit of mental downtime. So enjoy the process of just painting something very simple, and we're going to be building this pattern across the whole page. Once you feel like you have a good set of shapes, you can add in a second element. I'm choosing to do some lines. They're just parallel lines in various colors, and I'll tuck them in and around some of these shapes. So we're going for very abstract and simplified mark making. And I just dropped a little splatter of paint, so let's go with it. We'll add this to our little abstract design and just put little dots all around and include that as a third element. Sometimes you have a happy accident like this, and instead of worrying about it too much, just incorporate it into your overall work. Okay, and now I'm going to use this same angular shape, and this time just do an outline right on top of the flatter shapes. And this will be just another element to keep building on what we've started. And then also following the solid dots, I'm doing outlined dots as well. So we have a little bit of a theme going here where our shapes are both in a flat, full color version and an outline version of each. All right, well, you can finish up your page and go to the edge if you like, and you can call it done here, or you can do a final step, which I decided to do after I thought about it for a little while. I wanted to add a little bit of pen and ink. All right, so you can grab a set of your fine liners. This is a waterproof set of different various sizes, and that way you can get different thicknesses. The ink is waterproof, which is great to use with watercolors. And I'm making some abstract gem shapes. So on the inside of each of these angular shapes, I'm following along with a smaller line and then pulling each of those angles down with a straight line to the outer shape. I'm also adding shading along one side. So if you want to keep in mind a light source, for me it's on the left, so the shadows will be roughly on the right for each of these gems. Okay, here's a bit of a close-up so you can see exactly what I'm doing step by step. I'm starting with that center angular shape that's parallel to the outside lines, and then pulling down a straight line into each of those angles, and that gives you each face of the gem. And then you can also outline the overall shape. And then I'm adding some fine lines for the shadow areas, which again is on the right side, and I'll try to keep it consistent on all of them. And then the last step is I'm using a gray mild liner to add in a little bit more shadow along the right edge. And that's it, keeping it pretty simple and just doing the same steps on a few of these. I'm not going to do every single one. I kind of like to keep a few loose and more abstract, and I like a few with the ink illustration on top. So you decide how much and how little you'd like to do and have fun with it. Okay, once you're happy with your work, you can go ahead and call it done. I did about 7 or so gems with that illustration, and I'm keeping the rest open. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you had so much fun and you got to have a chance to have a little creative downtime. I'll see you in the next video.